Hi, this is Chuck Oliver. Welcome to this week's missed show, Hidden Wealth Minutes. I want to share with you what you missed on Hidden Wealth Radio. As a reminder, all of our shows are archived at hiddenwealthradio.com. That's hiddenwealthradio.com. Well, what a wild ride the Federal Reserve's Ferris wheel has had us on and off over this last week. We've seen about a 1,500-point swing just in this last week on Wall Street on the Dow Jones. And there's a lot of anxiety out there, and I've been teaching a lot from my most recent book, How to Have Your Retirement Protection Pillars, where before, many of us listening, whether it was our parents, grandparents, or even for some of us, depending on our generation, great-grandparents, lived in a very different time and day, right? They lived in an era where you could get a respectable return on your savings at the bank. There wasn't the uncertainty around Social Security. And clearly, there was a defined pension benefit paid by the employer that would last the employee's lifetime. Those days are gone and diminished. In fact, what's transpired is many of us listening have what we call a defined contribution plan known as a 401k, which has failed miserably. Time Magazine said it's time to retire the 401k back in 2010. This was shortly after, from October of 2007 through March of 2009, the average investor's 401k or savings for retirement had dropped 57%. So it's not unusual to think that AARP comes out with a report in the Wall Street Journal recently about boomers are more worried than any other group about their retirement security. High anxiety over not being able to retire. In fact, over 70% of boomers expect that they will have to delay retirement, and 50% fear that they will not be able to leave their 9-to-5 job. Now, folks, all progress begins with the truth, and now is an ideal time because the price of procrastination can be quite steep. In fact, you'll learn that for those of you that don't pay heed to this, I think we're in the most uncertain economic times we've been in now that we're this global economy from Ebola to ISIS to oil that we've ever been in. And it's very clear that the market has a way of repeating itself. And the question becomes, do you really want to see history repeat itself? Because two camps out there. One, playing it too safe on the sidelines at the bank, spending down principal, but thrilled not to be losing. And the other camp, concerned or scared, or at least one of the two spouses, on trying to get off of this Ferris wheel by the Fed that's made markets swing not like we've ever seen since 08, 09. Folks, now's the time. And I think it's so important. MyRetirementProtected.com. I want to teach you in this educational income and savings protection webinar how you can learn how to have upside without downside. In fact, I talk on Hidden Wealth Radio that if we go back to 1930 and we take the S&P 500, which is what many of our models are modeled after, and mind you, not one of our clients has ever lost a dime in one of our key strategies that we teach people about their retirement protection pillars. The S&P from 1930 through 2011 in our study did 5.92%. Now, mind you, that's before fees and costs and taxes, etc., but did just shy of 6%. Now, let's say you could go back, whether it's back to 1930 or back to 08, 09 or 2000 or 2001 or 2002, and you could put a zero in for all the years that had a down year. If we went back to 1930, your average return was just shy of 11.5%, 11.46 to be exact, not 5.92, but almost double the return, which means more than quadruple the account savings. And here's the key. Not only do we remove the uncertainty of losing money in our retirement, but we also remove Uncle Sam or the government out of our retirement because we can also do it tax-free. That 5.92, much higher expenses, especially when you account for taxes, and all the uncertainty of the ups and downs and loss of sleep and anxiety versus never losing sleep, because when the market loses, your account is protected. When the market gains, your account gains. And I want to teach you how. MyRetirementProtected.com. That's MyRetirementProtected.com. And on top of that, you could, if you desired, register toll-free at 855, no tax, the number 2 and the letter U. That's 855, no tax, the number 2 and the letter U. Folks, imagine. Whether the Fed corrects our markets, crashes our markets, or ultimately continues to false positive the stimulation to our markets, at some point our markets are going to correct and possibly crash. And the question becomes, are you prepared? MyRetirementProtected.com. Here's to your hidden wealth.